Hey GX community, this is GXBOB here to showcase to you guys another wonderful product that I have found on Amazon and I'm going to be installing today. And if you guys have been watching a lot of my videos, you guys will notice I have installed quite a few lights onto my truck, and all of them being pure white. Pure white is great, and pure white lights up the road in front of me like for miles and miles on a perfect night sky. But winter is upon us, and we all drive in terrible weather in the winter, such as lots of snow, lots of fog, and lots of rain. So today I decided to install LED light pods in yellow, in amber. So I did search the internet. I searched Amazon, I searched eBay. I've been looking for 4.5 to 5-star reviews. I've been looking at a lot of criteria that meet my expectations whenever I buy a product. And I finally came to this product called LASFIT, L-A-S-F-I-T. We all know that there are plenty of $20 light pods on Amazon, but $20 is not what I want to spend on something that will probably save my family's life or get me out of a sticky situation in the middle of the night, somewhere in the middle of nowhere. So let's talk about this product I have in my hand that's still in its original wrapper. Okay, so it met a lot of my criterias when I decided to pick this up. Number one, the company's based out of Southern California. Number two, they allow you to try it for 45 days, hassle-free, no questions asked, and they allow you to return it with no restocking fee if you don't like it. It also comes with a 3-year hassle-free warranty. And the lenses, I believe the lenses are tear optical lenses as opposed to those $25 pods that you see on Amazon. Those types of pods have reflectors right behind the LEDs that just produce scattered light. Okay? The tear optical lenses that this company produces is designed to redirect light efficiently on the road for you, no matter what direction you point it in. Okay? It's also been environmental proof. It's been tested in negative 40 degrees all the way up to, I believe, 185 degrees Fahrenheit. The casing, the housing, the brackets are all powder coated and stainless steel. And did I mention it is waterproof. So we're going to do the video in 3 different segments. The very first segment, we are going to unbox the light pods. The second segment, we are going to lay out the plan to install the light pods. And the third segment, we are going to go over the different types of brackets we are going to use for the different types of function we're going to need them for. So far, I like what I see. The box looks pretty well made. Doesn't look like some plain wrapper brown box that's been thrown together. It looks like a very professional made box. Look at that. It's a very thick box and the item is pretty heavy. Let's go ahead and lift up the box and check them out. Wow. Look at this, guys. Good Lord. Okay. I don't even know what to open up first here. Let's check it out. Let's lift this up. Comes with the instructions. All this right here is made out of foam to protect the lights. This right here, wrapped in tissue paper, powder coated housing brackets. Another set of brackets. Let's set this aside. Let's take out the sides here, see what this is. The plugs and the hardware. Set this aside. And let's take a look at the lights themselves. Look at this. Look at the gills on this thing for heat dissipation. Holy smokes. It's pretty heavy. This is super nice. All right, guys, so far I like what I see. Very well made. So let's go ahead and go to the truck and let's get started on these bad boys. First things first, you guys are going to want to decide where you want to install your light pods. In the case of my truck, I decided to do the installation at the rear corners of my hood for two main reasons. The first reason is for ease of installation. It's accessible, it's out in the open. I can do my wiring and my bracket install while installing the housing unit itself. Number two, I don't want the lighting to be impacted by anything that's going to be blocking it, such as installing them behind the grill or installing them in little tight corners like this where the lights might get refracted and I won't get the full benefit of my fog lights. Before I take the whole entire bundle to the engine compartment, I separated everything. I took the large bundle and disconnected it from the light pods, kept the light pods separately. We will work on the light pods later on. I also disconnected the switch that goes inside of your car. Set this aside. You're going to have three small pieces that are going to be set aside for later installation. We are going to do the main installation that involves the power and ground cable and the relays. Let's go ahead and take this bundle to the engine compartment. First things first, before you ever install anything electrical into your truck, you're going to want to remove the negative terminal off of your battery. Let's go ahead and do that. Good thing I have a quick release. Let's go ahead and remove that, get it out of the way. Next thing, you're going to want to remove this plastic cover. This plastic cover is held down by these retainer clips. Let's go ahead and pop those open. Push in the knobs. Comes with about 1, 2, 3, 4 knobs. The whole thing comes out. Let's go ahead and set this aside. Next, I'm going to want to remove my engine cover right here, just so we have more accessibility to the firewall to run our cables. Now that I have my wire bundle right here hanging on the side of my truck, I am going to mess around with the positive and the ground leads first. We're not going to connect both of them because our job is not done yet. We're just going to connect one and leave the other one hanging until last. Okay, so since my positive is connected, I'm going to go ahead and connect the positive first. Depending on what type of terminal you have, go ahead and disconnect and tie your positive lead of your fog lights to your positive terminal. Now we're going to take our ground and we're going to just leave it hanging until we finish doing the installation. We're not going to connect it right now. We're going to want to run the rest of the bundle on the side of your vehicle in a neat and orderly fashion. We're going to find a place to go ahead and install your relay. I decided to install the relay against my fender wall right here using a tap screw. A tap screw is a type of screw that can cut through metal. Let's go ahead and put it on my drill motor right here. After you install the relay, you're going to want to look at your firewall. At your firewall, you're going to have a rubber boot right there where all your wires can be shoved inside. Let's go ahead and take a closer look. What I would do is I would take a screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, and I would poke at this rubber boot, trying not to damage any wires, being very careful. Make the rubber boot loose. Once you make it loose, you can take the switch side, of your light pod and you could stick it in there through the hole. I already got started with my light switch. Now I'm just going to take my flathead screwdriver and help it along by pushing it further inside. If you push the light switch all the way inside the plug, it will fall through the firewall and you just pull on it. Now the only thing left to do are the light pod wires. Now we're going to want to route each light pod wire to each corner. We're going to take one and we're going to throw it to the other side, and we're going to take this one right here and we're going to wrap it up and keep it here bundled up temporarily until we install the light pods. Once we install the light pods, we can determine how much slack we're going to need on the wires, and then we can make a neat installation, a very organized installation that way. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. really quick. Once I zip tie it, I'm going to keep it in this corner right here. I'm going to move to the far corner to the passenger side, and I'm going to do the exact same thing, except I am going to be routing the cable along the firewall. This portion of the installation, you're might want to use a step ladder, as your truck is pretty high for you to reach all the way to the back. What I'm doing is I'm routing my LED wire harness all the way to the corner, passenger corner, with zip tying this cable to the OEM harness. Here's the passenger side pod. We are going to just go ahead and wrap this up and leave it in this corner until we install the pod itself. Next, we are going to cover the mounting brackets that are going to be holding up your LED pods, okay, on the back of your hood. So my very first one that I reviewed is this clamp right here. You got to remember the 3 clamps that I'm showing you right now are probably the 3 most popular clamps that are all over Amazon and eBay right now. So right here is this one hole right here that holds the LED pod, and right here is what clamps to your hood, to the back of your hood. So let's just pretend this piece right here is your hood, okay, and it clamps to the back of your hood right here just like this, and it's got 5 Allen screws right here that tightens in. It comes with all the hardware for you to tighten in. And that's about it. But you got to remember, the only thing that's holding the whole entire LED light pod to the hood is this surface area right here. Very flimsy, not very secure. I've tried it. I would be a lot more comfortable if this piece bracket right here was a lot longer to hold on to the hood, but it's not. It's this little tiny piece. So in the event of, I don't know, while driving for several months or maybe a year or two, you're going to have to keep on checking to see if these are tight. If they come loose, your LED pods will fly off. And these are very not hard to steal. Anybody could just take a grab hold of your LED pods and just pretty much rip it off, okay? Just like this. It just slides right off, just like this. And the whole entire LED pod comes off. So this is not very solid as a bracket, in my opinion. I don't like it at all. Next, we have a very popular one that a lot of forerunners are using. A lot of people that are doing off-roading are using this one. This one, you have to remove the hinge bolts that are holding your hood to the rest of your truck. These 2 hinge bolts right here. After you remove the 2 bolts, you put this in place, and then you attach the bolts, and then you attach your hood. It goes right underneath your hood just like this. It gives you a pretty good offset. Then you put your light pod on top of here, which is pretty nice. It's very nice. It looks very like it's part of the vehicle. It's part of the truck itself. The only problem is it's permanent. It's permanent. It's not versatile. And I'm gonna explain to you why I chose my very last choice of these magnets. The one that I actually finally installed were these really super strong magnets. The LED pods hook up to this bolt right here. It sits right on top of your hood. Here's your hood. It goes clamp down, and then it doesn't go anywhere. Does it damage your pane or your metal structure or anything? No, because it is protected in really thick rubber, really strong magnet, very difficult to steal. I try to pull this off. It takes 2 hands and very strong arms to yank this off. And the good thing about it is it's adjustable. I could move it this way. I could move the light pods up and down. It's very accessible. I can actually remove this to adjust it if I want to. And the good thing about this is I can move it from truck to truck. I can have a weekend truck and I can have an off-road truck. Depending on what I want to use, I can have a wire harness in both trucks, and I can move this to this truck and I can move it to this truck, and we're done. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and do the whole entire rest of the video with these magnet pods right here, these brackets right here, and I'm going to show you how effective this is on your hood. LASFIT provided all the hardware necessary to install your light pods to the bracket to the mounting kit right here. I already separated all the hardware for you guys to see the sequence that I'm going to be installing this hardware onto the bracket and onto the housing itself. You're going to get 2 Allen screws right here, 2 lock washers, 2 regular washers to attach this pod to the bracket itself. We're going to do this afterwards. Right here we have 1 bolt, 1 lock washer, 1 regular washer, 1 washer with teeth, and a nut that's going to attach this bracket to the type of mounting hardware that we want to install. And this is the mounting bracket that I'm going to be installing. It is the magnetic type that goes on top of my hood. So let's go ahead and do the installation. I already know that this is going to go on top of my magnetic mounting bracket, just like this, okay? And I know that the curved rounded portion right here is facing forward. It also has this angle right here. This is facing forward. So when I do the installation, LASFIT light pod is going to be facing upright forward, just like this, forward, okay? So let's set that aside. Let's go ahead and do the mounts. I already know that it's going to go like this. I'm going to take my bolt. I'm going to put my lock washer on. Lock washer is separated just like that. It's staggered. I'm going to go ahead and put my regular washer on. Shiny polished side goes towards the head. Flat side always goes towards the surface. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put the teeth washer on here, and I am going to slip it right through. Oops, wow, see how strong the magnets are? I'm going to slip it right through to my brackets right here, and on the other side I'm going to put the brackets that belongs to the LASFIT on here, and I'm going to put my nut right on here. The reason why this side doesn't get a washer is because it's got locking mechanisms right here that's going to hold the nut. If I put a washer in here, it's going to raise that nut too high and it won't hit these locking mechanisms right here. So I'm going to go ahead and screw it in until it bottoms out. Once it bottoms out, I'm going to hold my nut right there, and I'm going to take a 14 millimeter and I'm just going to tighten it right. Just keep tightening until it gets tight. Right, once it gets snug, go ahead and straighten it out. Once it straightens out, go ahead and continue to tighten. Go ahead and straighten it out again. Okay, once you got it where you want it to be, let's go ahead and do the housing unit. Okay, remember the rounded edge right here is facing forward of the truck. Let's go ahead and take this and line up the holes to the very first hole right there. We're going to take our hardware. We're going to take our split ring washer, slide it on here. Remember the staggered washer? We're going to put the polished side regular washer towards the fastener head, and we are going to install it in the hole. LASFIT does give you an Allen key. I could tighten it some more while it's on the car as I do my adjustments when I shine them at night. This is what it's going to look like. Nice, huh? Now I'm going to go ahead and do the other pod light. I'm not going to let you sit through it, and we're going to fast forward and put them on the truck for you, okay? There you go, guys. Pretty crazy looking, huh? Let's go ahead and take these bad boys to the truck. What I definitely want to do right now is go ahead and close the hood. Not all the way, just enough so I can place my pods on. You guys got to remember, these magnets are super powerful and they're protected by rubber, so it won't dent or chip the paint of your car, okay? So be careful when you install them on your hood. When you place them down, make sure it's exactly where you want it to be. I'm going to take my cable, I'm going to put it towards the rear right here. I'm going to take this, I'm going to line it up with the line of my vehicle. And before I lay it flat, I'm going to take the other side and line it up with the back edge of my hood. Very strong magnet. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now if you guys take a look, I'm going to show you guys how I placed it. Right at the edge, right here, right at the edge. That's how I am going to know if this is going to be in the exact same location if I were to install it on that side. Remember folks, take your lights, put the harness, put it on the back right here. Go ahead, line it to the edge. Lean it to the side. Do not place it laid down flat until you can get the back edge down where you want it to be, because it's very difficult to bring it back up. These are very strong magnets. There you go, guys. Very strong magnets. How do they look? How do these bad boys look? What I'm going to do right now is go ahead and lift up my hood very carefully. There you guys go. Lots and lots of clearance. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cable and I'm going to follow it down this groove right here where it's going to be protected. I'm going to take it down this groove and I'm going to zip tie it again right here at the hinge. I'm trying to create points where it won't pinch. Now you're going to have a plastic piece right here that is removable, that goes into your engine cabin. This piece right here, I'm going to take this, I'm going to dislodge this plastic piece, I'm going to route my cable through here underneath, and I'm going to put this plastic piece back. Now you have no room to pinch your cables. Let's go ahead and zoom back out just so you see what I'm talking about. Now your cables are going through the hood, through the hinge, on the channel side of the hinge, through this plastic all the way down without having to be pinched up here. Going to go ahead and show you on the passenger side. Passenger side, same thing. I am going to zip tie it right where the channel is right here. Go down this channel. You can use as many zip ties as you feel comfortable. I'm going to use 2. Remember this plastic piece right here, dislodge it and route your wire harness underneath it and then go ahead and reattach it. Get your bag of zip ties ready, guys. We are going to go ahead and plug it to the rest of the wire bundle. I'm going to go ahead and cut the zip tie that I already had on here just to organize my wires a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and connect them to my light pods now. Okay, let's go ahead and lock it into place. You're going to hear a little click right there. The rest right here is really up to you on how clean you want your wires to look. Voila, all the wires are hidden. Wires look very clean. You can't even tell there's any wire installation been done right there. Bringing you guys to the driver's side. Here's the LED light pod plug. Now I'm going to plug it in to the wire bundle. Like I said, there's a notch up there, a slot right there, and you got a clip right here that goes straight in, male to female. There you go, until it clicks. The rest, we are just going to go ahead and clean up the wires and wrap it up somewhere into this corner. Voila, driver's side is done. You can't even tell any wire harnesses have been routed through there. Now let's go ahead and connect the battery terminals. Make sure you have good slack in your cables and your wires. Okay, nothing's out of place, nothing is loose, nothing is connected. Don't forget guys, you have one ground cable that's left that you need to install. So we're going to go ahead and loosen one of these terminals off my ground cable right here and install my ground wire for the lights. Very important folks, make sure everything has been reinstalled the way that you took it out. Put back your engine shield right here. Let's go ahead and temporarily close the hood without locking it into place. We're going to take our switch right now. We're going to go inside the driver's side and install this and plug it in and see if the lights work. So what I did was I took my hands and I shoved it all the way up here and I routed my cable all the way up here through this hole right here in order to plug in my switch. I'm going to go ahead and plug in my switch right now. Testing the lights. Red for off, green for on. I already know where I'm going to put these lights. They're going to be right above my stealth lights that I have on the bottom of my car. I'm going to go ahead and line it up. I actually cleaned this with alcohol before I even taped them on. So now that I already stuck it on, I'm going to take the other end, I'm going to pull on it, and I'm going to zip tie this underneath the car to make it clean. There you go.